Alright, when you first set up your NVR and you have a monitor connected to your NVR by way of VGA cable or HDMI, you will be greeted with this screen here. Unless you have cameras hooked up, your camera's pictures will show no link. Basically, to log into the NVR, you're going to right-click on the mouse. You're going to select menu. Now the default username is admin, and the default password is 123456. You're going to hit enter and then log in. Now because the password is a default password, it's going to ask you to change your default password. For now, we will just select no and ignore. Once you are logged on to the NVR and you are into the menu, you will be greeted with the menu here on the left. Now I'm just going to cover some key menu items here. First thing you would want to check is system. You want to make sure that you have the correct time zone for your area selected, and once you select your time zone, you want to click on apply changes. You would also want to click on the DST, which stands for daylight savings time. Make sure that is enabled if you do have daylight savings time. You would also click apply at the bottom. Now, a few other key menu items here would be your camera list. We'll show you the list of the cameras here. Network is one of the biggest ones. This will give you all your network information. Enable DHCP. There's a checkbox here if you want the NVR to get assigned its own IP address from the router automatically. If you want to set a static IP address, then you would uncheck that, and it would allow you to change the IP address. EasyCloud, this is who the device would be registered to. So those are some of the main features in the system and network area. These are the ports that would need to be forwarded, and then port mapping if you want it on a universal plug and play or manual port forwarding. Other features here is shutdown, so you have the option to log out, restart, and shut down. And we will cover a lot more of the other features throughout these videos. Here we are going to look at changing views from multi to single and to sequence. So once you log into the NVR, you can go to System and then go to Preview. Here under Preview Windows, it's going to give you the option to select 1 Windows, 4 Windows. This is only a 4-channel NVR, so I only have the option to select 1 or 4 windows. So for example, if we select 1 window, that will be the default layout. When I exit, you'll see it will just show 1 window. The other way to do it is we can switch down here from 1 to 4 windows. But if you set it up in the menu, that will be your preview windows there. Now if you want to select sequence mode, you can check this here and click apply. Now when you have a single window showing, it will sequence through the cameras. Each camera will be on the display for a few seconds, and then it will transfer to the next camera. So here we're going to take a look at digital zoom and PTZ on cameras. I do have a PTZ camera hooked up here, so I'm going to make it large so it's easier to see. Now, in order to do a digital zoom, we click on the magnifying glass with the plus sign. And once you do that, you'll be greeted with a smaller screen on the right and a larger screen on the left. We can draw a box around what we want to zoom in on. So I tried to zoom in on that area. So we can see it did a digital zoom and brought the area that we were looking at closer. To exit out of the digital zoom, we just right click, and now we will take a look at the PTZ controls. You can actually move the PTZ control around wherever you want. To move a PTZ camera, you can press right, left, up, down, diagonal, etc. We also have zoom, focus, and iris capabilities. So I'm going to show how the zoom functionality works here. We're just going to click and hold the zoom feature here. We're going to zoom in on this sign here, this one on the island down below. And we can still zoom in. And we can zoom in even further. So that is optical zoom on a PTZ camera. Now, some of the PTZ do have more controls, like you can set up presets and preset patrols and auto guard and stuff like that. We'll go into more details about that on other videos. Here we are going to take a look at playback of recorded video by date, time, event. So if we right click, we will have the option for playback down here. We can click that. And then at this point, because we're on that camera, it will bring us to the footage of that camera number 1. Now this is a PTZ camera, so we won't see the red in the motion timeline for motion because this camera is moving normally and it's not set up for motion. Now to do playback of recorded video by date, normally if there's recorded footage, it will show us on the calendar here where there is recorded footage. Now I just set this camera up so we only have recorded footage for today's date and time, but we can do a playback of recorded video by date. For example, if I had video footage on the 6th, I can select the 6th and then at that point click play, and we will see the video footage on the 6th if there was some. And your timeline is down here, so you can select the time, you can change the time where the video is going to play. You can also zoom in on the timeline on the bottom right here, so as you'll see the timeline will become much larger. It's actually the same timeline, you're just zooming in on it or zooming out alternatively. But that's pretty much it. If you want to look up video by event, you can select event in the top left corner. You can also do a smart search. We'll get into that in another video. But for event recording, you can select the camera, then you can select the date, you can select the start time, start date, start time, and then you can select the end date and end time. And if we do a search and there was recorded footage, we would see the recorded timeline down here, and then we can view through that. Here we are going to take a look at how to extract or take a snip of a video being viewed or played. So when you're on the NVR, you can right click and go to playback. We can select the camera. We can see some footage down here in the timeline. Once we're looking at the video, we don't want to back up all the video. We just want to take a very short piece of video and we can back it up to USB. So say we want to start the recording of this snippet of video here. We can pause the video. Now we can go over to this start clipping icon to start the clipping of the video. Now we can play it for a couple seconds. And at this point we can pause the video again and we can click stop clipping. At this point we do have a USB installed into the front of the NVR, but we can click file management. At this point we would see the video footage that we just did a clipping of. So we can click that video and then we can click backup. Now it's asking where we want to back it up to. We're going to select here. At this point we can just basically click backup And now it is going to export the video to the USB stick, and it shows backup completed. Here we are going to take a look at taking a snapshot and finding and exporting a snapshot. So first we want to set up snapshot. So we're going to go to storage. We're going to select snapshot. We're going to select the camera. We're going to enable the schedule, and we're going to click apply. Then we can go to camera, and we can see here that this is the only active camera at this point in time. We can go to snapshot. We can see that the camera has a schedule for snapshot. So we should be able to exit here. And then if we want to search for snapshot, we should be able to go into the menu, go to backup, go to image, do search, and we can see all these snapshots here. So say we want to select a few snapshots. We can back up the snapshots. I do have a USB inserted into the front of the NVR. So at this point we can select to back up to the USB drive. That's it. Both snapshots, as you can see, are right there, backed up to the USB drive. What we're going to do here is we're going to do a smart search. So we're going to right click and we're going to go to Playback. Now the smart search I want to do is on camera 2. I'm going to zoom in on the timeline so it becomes bigger here. Now I'm going to pause the timeline when I get to where I want. Now, as you can see in the video, there's no compressed air can on this Pelican box here. When I forward it, you can see there's an air can I placed on that Pelican box. So what I want to do is I want to find out when that air canister went missing, because it's no longer there. So what we're going to do is a smart search here. So we're going to change it from normal to smart. We're going to select the camera. I'm going to zoom in on the timeline so it's easier to see here. So you can see when we do a smart search, anything is labeled in green. Now when I start playing, I'm going to pause it and I'm going to click on smart search here. Now I'm not concerned with the whole area. I just want to find out when that compressed air can disappeared. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear all, and I'm going to clear all, and I'm going to select an area, which is right here. I want to find out who took that compressed air can. So at this point I'm going to click on the magnifying glass for search. Now you'll see the green area. It's playing very fast until it gets to that green area, and it's only concerned with motion in that area. So now I can find out where that can of compressed air went to, and I don't have to search through tons of video. It's only going to show me the video where there was motion in that smart search area. Aha, so I found out who took the compressed air can. And that's pretty much how you do a smart search. Here we are going to look at doing a face detection search, or a VCA search. So for example, I'm going to go into the menu and we're going to click VCA search. We're going to click on face. I know it's on camera 3, so we'll just select camera 3 here. And we'll do a search in the time zone required. So now you can see it detected 3 faces here. Now, once we click the thumbnail, we can actually click the play button here to play that footage. We also do have the option to backup image and backup recording, but it will basically take a snapshot when face detection is set up, and this way, it's very quick and easy to be able to do a search for face detection to find out where that face is seen in a thumbnail, and then you can just click play or back it up, which is a nice feature. Here we are going to take a look at how to add a user or adding users. So what we can do, we can right click and go into the menu. You want to go to System and then go to User. Now here we'll show you a list of users. If we want to add a user, it's pretty simple. We just click the Add button at the bottom, and we would make a username. So in this case we'll make Test. Enter. User type, if we want them to be an operator or a guest. And we'll make a password and we'll call it test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. Enter. So what kind of permissions we want to give to the guest? So we'll say we want them to view cameras 1 and 3, but not camera 2. So at this point we will click OK, and you can see we have another user in there called Test. At this point I'm going to show you how it works. We're going to exit, we're going to right click and go to menu, we're going to go to shutdown, and we're going to log out of the device. You can see how we can see all cameras on the interface of the monitor because it's hooked up directly. So once we go into menu, we want to change it to test. We're going to enter the password of test 1 2 3, hit enter, log in. So now at this point you can see we can only see camera 1 and 3. There's a little lock on camera 2, which, because I'm logged in as the test user, I cannot see camera 2. We're going to take a look at the recording and snapshot scheduling process. So if we go into menu and we go to storage, you can see right here we're on recording and schedule. Now we can select the camera that we want to set up the schedule for. Now the cameras by default will have a pre-record of 10 seconds and a post-record of 60 seconds. So if there's motion detected, it will record 10 seconds before the motion happened, and once the motion has stopped happening, it will record for 60 seconds after it has stopped. Now as you can see, the legend is on the right. This NVR is set up to record 24/7. So if we want to set up this NVR for camera number 1 to record on motion only, we can actually just draw and change the whole schedule to green. Then this NVR would record on motion only. We will click apply. We would have to make sure that the motion is set up properly. So if we went here, we can see that the motion is enabled for this camera, but there was no screen detected. So these blocks turning solid red will show that there's motion happening in that area. Now the default sensitivity is 98. I'm not going to turn motion on this camera, but if I did hit apply, basically motion would be turned on this camera. But generally what we're showing here is just to change the schedule. So for example, if I owned a store, a retail store, and I was open from 9 to 5, and I wanted to maximize my hard drive space, I could have normal recording from 9, actually I can have normal recording from 12 midnight to 9 a.m. and then just motion recording from 9 to 5. So I would have a schedule something like that. This would minimize the recording during the day because it would only record motion. Nighttime it would be 24/7 recording. But that's basically how we set up the schedule for recording. For Snapshot, same idea. You would select the camera, enable the schedule, and select if you want it to take a snapshot on normal or event or motion or whatever you choose. But that's basically how we do the recording and snapshot scheduling process. So we're going to take a look at where we can find the user manual for more functions, for the NVRs and that. So from our website, petawise.com, we can always go to products and go to network video recorders. We'll just select the 1-bay NVR, the 301. Once we go to the NVR, we can just select that. It will give us more information on this NVR. It also has a download section here. So if we click the download section, you will find a lot of different information about the NVRs, latest firmware, release notes, data sheet, network video recorders quick guide, and the network video recorders user manual. So all the user manuals can be found for each NVR under their respective web page for that NVR. So we're going to take a look at where we can find the user manual for more functions, for the NVRs and that. So from our website, petawise.com, we can always go to products and go to network video recorders. We'll just select the 1-bay NVR, the 301. Once we go to the NVR, we can just select that. It will give us more information on this NVR. It also has a download section here. So if we click the download section, you will find a lot of different information about the NVRs, latest firmware, release notes, data sheet, network video recorders quick guide, and the network video recorders user manual. So all the user manuals can be found for each NVR under their respective web page for that NVR.